Are you shaking? Oh, you shaking. Oh, you shaking and rattling and rolling. Bitch, please. Bro, I need some stability in my life. I ain't got no stability in anything else, let alone my fucking tripod. You gonna stay put? Are you not gonna be a bitch? Girl, I know, then guess what she said? She said she wanted to come out on stage looking like a disaster. You know what I said to that? Be careful what you wish for, bitch! It's time to Kiki! Woo! Ooh. Girl, it's the Kiki. The house don't work. Yes! Girl, bye! Alti on shade. Girl, the library is open. Hello everybody, hope you were well indeed. Welcome back to the Kiki. My name is Christalkslots. Thank you so much for joining me. First things first, hit the subscribe button. Thank you so much. Right, let's get down to business because this bitch is tired. Okay, you can tell. You can tell, right? Yeah, I get it. I've been working a lot this weekend, hence why A, tired, B, this wasn't up like Saturday night, and C, I'm just a crazy bitch that can't be tamed. I do things in my own time. Sorry about it. So enough dilly-dallying. We are here to talk about RuPaul's Drag Race Season 9, Episode 3, in this episode of The Kiki! So like before we get into the nitty gritty, I thought that this was a really good challenge, like to create a princess character. Like, yes. Although the fact that no one did Princess Peach from Mario, like, not being funny, Nina, but you should have saved your Georgia Peach for this one, because done. Maybe Farah could have been Mario, because, you know, she's so itty bitty. Wahoo, it's me, Mario. Best Mario impression ever. But yeah, so like, episode full of promise, but actually, not gonna lie, some of the princess outfits were like, wah, wah. But we will get into it, but I just want to like throw that out there now because I'm like, meh. So, the queens come back into the workroom after James Mansfield has been eliminated. I'm still not quite over this one, in the same way that I'm still not quite over Katja being sent home. Oh yeah, spoiler alert, sorry. So Kimura is being really shady towards James, and I'm like, really bitch? Because later on in the episode, you get English lessons from a Puerto Rican, so just saying. And Trinity's getting like all bitchy to Valentina because she's like, oh, I'm fed up of being the bridesmaid. I want to be the bride. And I'm like, don't say that on a first date because that's going to look kind of clingy and weird. What I noticed though that was interesting is that the first couple of episodes, the girls have been like really friendly, like uber friendly. Apart from like Eureka, who's just like taking everyone down a notch, which I'm kind of living for at the moment. It's probably going to get like really annoying on me, like it's going to grate on me, but at the moment, I'm kind of living for her quips. But anyway, yeah, so all the girls were like really getting on, but like this episode, like the cracks start to appear, and I'm not talking about Kimura and the Cuckoo. So yeah, it's interesting how now they suddenly like, oh shit, bitch is going home, and I want it to be them, not me. So yeah, we're gonna see some more drama. Bring it on, bitch. So there's no mini challenge again this week. Anyone else missing the mini challenges? Because I will be really honest, I'm not. Some of the mini challenges in the past have been really funny, like in the first few series, but in recent years I felt they've been like a little bit more about product placement and less about like an actual anything. And considering they take up so much time in the episode, I'd rather just spend the time like watching them get on with the main challenge, because that's the big one here. So yeah, I'm not gonna lie, not missing the mini challenges at the moment. So yes, it's the Fairy Tale Princess Challenge, and it is a sewing challenge, which seems really unfair that they do the sewing challenge the week after James is gone, because James makes everything she wears, so yeah. Can you tell I'm really not over this James Mansfield thing yet? Why did you leave us, James? So the girls have to come up with a fantasy fairy tale princess and a sassy sidekick. And I'm not being funny, this is a big challenge for like the third episode. This is big. They've not only got to come up with the two characters, but also the looks and the presentation and work out how it all goes together. I mean, this is something that you would expect much later on. So I'm really impressed at like the level of which season 9 is expecting of them already. Like they're not really giving them a chance to like warm up. They're like, bitch, you need to be here, you need to be serving it, and you need to be like streets ahead, because we're going to demand more of you than ever before. For the first time in Drag Race history, we'll be pushing you further than ever before! Far. So already, because it's a sewing challenge, I'm really excited to see what Charlie Hides turns out, because I know she sews, I know she's got a great sense of humour, so I'm really excited to see what she turns out. So the girls get to work, and Eureka and Aja are talking about this, Eureka's idea of like a sewage princess, and I'm like already seeing parallels, because she's talking about like rats and cockroaches and stuff, and I'm already seeing parallels with Violet Chachki's look from last year's reunion show. Like, oh my god, Slade, like the best thing that's ever, like the best outfit on Drag Race ever. And also the fact that she had the audacity to totally upstage Ru when it's Ru's show. Everything. So yeah, I'm already thinking that Eureka is taking tips from Violet on this one. And so I'm like, is this plagiarism? I'm not sure. And then Ru comes around, does his little chats with people, hello, 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 all that kind of stuff, and just see what's going on. And Aja is totally setting herself up. She's saying that, you know, she wants to see disaster on the runway. And I'm like, girl, it's gonna happen, isn't it? I like the idea that she had, and I'm like, this could really work. This could be really funny, sort of like, you know, influence of like her mother who sort of like explodes, and this idea of like a volcano. Because like, I had a year 3 teacher that when we first met her, she introduced herself as like, was it the ticking time bomb or the volcano or something like that? Because she, like, everyone in the school knew that she had a really short fuse. And so we were like, oh, scary. But that's what made it so interesting at the same time. See, like, how many times you could, like, you know, really poke her, metaphorically, before she, like, go absolutely nuts. So I like the idea, but I'm like, already knowing Aja's kind of style and aesthetic, I'm thinking, is this really gonna work? And are we actually just gonna see, not disaster, but just disaster on the runway? And I think we all know we saw the latter. Trinity was hilarious when she was doing her little run through of what she was going to present. That was really, really funny, and she's really opening up. I really like her at the moment. Like, at the beginning of the series, especially the Meet the Queens, I was like, I'm not really sure, like, not seeing it yet. But now, especially this episode, Trinity has, like, totally opened up. She's shown that she's not only a polished pageant queen, but she has the humour and the comedy to back it up, and she's able to think outside that box. That is a dangerous competitor, and those girls better, like, watch out. Also, we finally find out the history behind the word cuckoo, and basically it just means that it was a way for her to kind of swear in front of her mother, or talk about her butt in front of her mother without, you know, saying bad words, because it's supposed to be like, you know, culo, but she's like cuckoo. So yeah, see, this is the kind of history they should be teaching in schools. I would pay way more attention than if it was like, you know, talking about, you know, the Tudors. Although, to be fair, the Tudors were very interesting because, like, Henry VIII, like, killed 2 of his wives. I mean, really, when you think about it, this is just brutal, and we're teaching kids this. I mean, what do you think would be more appropriate? Drag history, or, like, you know, finding out how some guy 500 years ago, you know, beheaded 2 of his wives? 2 of 6. There goes your traditional family values. Speaking of family values, doesn't everyone just wish they kind of, like, were part of the Addams family? Like, they're a bit weird and kooky, but, like, they've got, like, such a strong family vibe. Really feeling that at the moment. Don't know why I brought that up, but it just popped into my head. So the girls are starting to get ready, and the girls come for Aja's makeup, which, like, this is a really interesting moment, because I thought it was really, like, shady from the editors to do this, because obviously the girls are, like, noticing a difference, because a lot of them know about Aja because she's a social media girl, but Alexis and Shay really start coming for her makeup. And, I mean, let's be real, like, there have been a lot of people questioning Aja's makeup choices this season, and I've seen some of her pictures and I'm like, okay, but Alexis is like, yeah, you're not as good now about Facetune, are you? And I'm like, oh, bitch, they're coming for her. Like, oh, shit. You can tell they've been waiting a while for, like, this conversation to erupt so they can all, like, throw in their 2 cents. But yeah, her makeup is then every episode so far has been very heavy, and I have said that already, so I'm not going to, like, labour the point because I have, you know, found it just a little bit heavy. So then there's this very serious part of the episode where the girls talk about the Pulse shooting in Orlando, and, you know, I think we all knew that this kind of conversation was going to happen at some point, and, you know, it sort of obviously brings back a lot of very disturbing memories for a lot of people around the world, I would say, but especially for, you know, drag queens, and obviously people who live in Florida and the LGBT community out there, especially in America, because, you know, that was a direct attack, and it was just horrific. There's very little other words that you could use for it. It was just awful. The fact that Trinity was saying that she was performing there the week before kind of, like, drove it home for her, the kind of, you know, situation that she could have found herself in. And then Cynthia talks about her experience, and holy shit, she was supposed to perform that night, and she couldn't make it, so Kenya Michaels, like, filled in for her, who was, I think, organising the stuff anyway. And, like, so I remember reading when it happened that Kenya was there, and I'm like, oh my God. And then that horrible, horrible moment where she said that her friend had gone to see Cynthia and was texting her like, why aren't you here? I came to see you. And then she's like, oh, I couldn't make it. Are you going to stay or are you going to go home? And he says, no, I might as well stay then. And he was one of the ones that got killed. I mean, oh my God. That's horrific. I just can't. I mean, Cynthia put a brave face on it, but surely she's got to be racked with guilt. And that is just, oh my God, one of the worst. Oh, no, I can't even anymore. But you know, that whole moment was a very touching, poignant moment of the episode where they were talking about something so serious. And I think Trinity sort of like, you know, brought it around and sort of turned it, you know, without trying to sort of, you know, demean it or anything, but she sort of spun it all into a positive with this amazing motivational speech. And it was quite a touching piece where she was saying, you know what, this just proves that we are still not safe. We still have to fight. We still have to you know, be who we want to be and show people that it's normal until people recognize that it's normal and that kind of thing. And whatever she was, you know, the whole thing that she was talking about, I was like, that is the kind of shit I expect from America's Next Drag Superstar. The way that she spun something so negative into something very positive as a message of positivity to say, don't be scared, keep going, because we're not going to shut up and sit down. And I was like, that is everything. So leaving that to one side, there is a lot of workroom action this episode, which is really nice to see, because in previous seasons, especially I think was it season 7, there was like no workroom action. I'm like, what's the freaking point? Like, if we can't see anything in the workroom, like, why am I here? So it's very nice to see that they have listened to a lot of the fans, because I know a lot of people were complaining about that, so it's good that they are bringing a lot of that element back. So we get to the main stage, and side note, when they say, Carson Kressley, stars superstar, I'm like, with those glasses? Is it me? No? Don't wear those glasses next week, okay? So for me, the standouts of the Princess Challenge were Charlie, because it was funny and it was stunning. I mean, oh my God, that dress, honestly, come on, let's be real, like, was gorgeous. That whole look was everything. And I think a lot of people overlooked that. I'm like, she looks like a princess. I liked Eureka's. I can kind of see what she was trying to go for. I think it could have been a little bit more finesse, but I really liked it. It was a very different twist on the whole idea, and I thought it was very cool. I liked Alexis. I also liked Kimora. I know a lot of people probably read me for this, but I really liked it. I wasn't, you know, very fond of her monkey sidekick, because that could have been really funny. That could have been genius, you know, a little cheeky monkey sidekick, and she kind of turned into like a robot kind of thing. So that was a bit of a letdown, but I really liked the outfit. It was another very good twist on the idea. You know, half of them did fucking, you know, water princess, and she's like, I'm gonna be Tarzan's bitch. And she looked amazing. That outfit was gorgeous. And like, yeah, Tarzan's princess wouldn't be wearing a floor-length gown. So I thought it worked, you know, and she sort of had the crown as like makeup instead of like an actual crown, because if she's swinging from tree to tree, she ain't got time to be putting on no tiara, bitch. So yeah, I thought it was a well put together look. I also really liked Trinity's. Obviously that was just amazing. And I really liked Valentina's, because it looked really chic and elegant, but there was a coldness there. Like, you look at her and you're like, oh my God, she's gorgeous, and you're probably going to think that she's like, you know, such a benevolent princess, when in fact she's like icy cold. And once you sort of hear that from her hilarious sidekick, by the way, you suddenly think, oh, I see it. Yeah, there's a bit of like, you know, cold evilness in her, and I really liked that take. It was very clever. Side note, when the judges are critiquing and the girls have gone off stage, I mean, side note to the side note, there's been a lot of shade this episode, like so much shade. I am living for it. But the biggest shade of all was when Michelle Visage called out Kimora to the others and the other judges, and saying like, you know, we have to talk about the biggest issue, like how brave Kimora was to come out on stage without hip pads. The shade, I cannot even deal. Like, so much shade that I thought it was a total eclipse. Absolutely hilarious, definitely iconic. And I really like it when you see that element of shade, because you know that the judges are going to be shady, but I don't think they really show a lot of it. And I'm like, that shade is funny, and we need to see more of it. So Trinity wins, and Aja and Kimora fall into the bottom 2. Now, what is interesting about this is that in Untucked, no one thought Aja would be in the bottom 2. They were all like, oh, Aja's gonna be in the top 3. Especially the queens that are from New York. And I'm starting to think that maybe they're a bit blinkered. Like, if everyone is talking about Aja, maybe they're kind of just like going along with it, or they've gotten like Stockholm syndrome or something. Like, not to say that Aja's bad, but you know, sometimes you get so caught up in the whirlwind of something that you kind of just go with it, and they're like, oh yeah, no, Aja's gonna be fine. And then when she comes back into the little Untucked lounge, and she's like, oh no, I didn't do good. And they're like, nah, bitch, no, you're in the top. And no, that outfit was that outfit was awful. I'm no seamstress, but that outfit was awful. Compared to some of the other stuff that people came up with, nah. Great idea, but the execution was like really out there. Which was a shame, because I thought the idea was genuinely one of the best ones out of the whole group. So yeah, I just thought it was interesting how, you know, the queens are like perceiving each other, and then the judges being like, no. And especially even more so when it was announced that Kimora and Aja were in the bottom 2. Like, when Aja was announced, like, the whole room was just like, oh my god! And I'm sat at home like, how are you surprised? I know that there's a lot of Aja fans out there, and like, I'm not coming for her specifically. I'm just like, this challenge, great concept, not a strong execution, and she's a fierce queen, right? But I am starting to question why everyone is going on about her. I get it, she's fierce, but I think some other queens have been as fierce or more fierce than Aja this season so far. As I said, I'm not the kind of person that generally looks for what queens do outside of the show before they appear. I am very much like, I like to be surprised by what they show on the show. You know, so I don't watch the lip syncs, I don't look at the pictures, I don't look at anything really other than what is presented, because I'm like, these people have a chance now to show off the best of their ability, and I don't want any bad performances or, you know, extremely good performances to put people on a pedestal or make me think badly of them before they get in the workroom. And I know a lot of people have seen Aja perform before, so that's probably what's influencing them, but I haven't had that. So I think that's probably why I'm seeing things with a slightly different way. So yeah, before you all start like kicking off about, oh my god, you hate Aja. I don't hate Aja. I'm just like, is she really performing to the best of her ability? Because I'm hearing a lot of good stuff about Aja, but others are kind of outshining her at the moment, let's be real. And also, while we're talking about Untucked, that bit where Aja completely offloads on Valentina, iconic, hilarious, but also really horrible. So they're asking Valentina like what they said about her, and then like Aja just jumps in really sarcastically, like just listing all the things and then some about Valentina, and it's really shady. And I'm like, that is not becoming, bitch, I get it, you're upset that you didn't get good critique, but don't take it out on Valentina because she turned it out. She might be doing drag less than you, but she's done better than you so far, so like, step your game up. So the girls go back to the main stage, and we find out that Trinity has won the competition, which I think very, very deservedly. And yeah, Kimora and Aja form the bottom 2, and the lip sync song is I Need a Hero by Bonnie Tyler. And why has it taken 9 seasons of regular Drag Race and 2 seasons of All Stars for this lip sync to happen? One of the most iconic songs out there, and especially because of the famous Ms. Dupree, who did like the most amazing entrance to this song in the history of everything ever. Like, every other drag queen might as well just like stop now, because no one's ever gonna top that. If you don't know what I'm talking about, YouTube it, because it is epic. So the girls go at it, and Kimora doesn't know the words, and I'm like, bitch, how do you not know the words? This song is iconic. Like, nah. You shouldn't even need the iPod to practice this song, you should know the words. Girl. It's like not knowing the words to I Will Survive. Oh, too soon. So yeah, Kimora's just like flailing around on the floor, and Aja's doing like these high jump kicks, thinking that she hit Hitmonlee from fucking Pokemon, and her wig's kind of like going a bit funny, but she knows the words. She's got the eyes going, she's serving. Yeah, I mean, it was a good lip sync. I was maybe expecting something a little more, but it was very energetic and intense, and I'm like, yeah, I'm living for that. So obviously Aja stays and Kimora has to sashay away, which is a shame because I was expecting greater things from Kimora, but I think she just kind of, well, she just didn't step up to the plate enough, really. She couldn't present the judges what they wanted to see, and that was a shame, really. But, you know, I think she's fierce, and she's got an amazing drag aesthetic, which I live for. Like, her promo picture, probably one of my favourite from the whole list. and one of my favourites probably ever. Like that promo is just everything. And so as a final little wrap up to this episode, I'm going to be talking about who is hot and who is not this week. So going well up in my estimations is Trinity. She has definitely shown a different side to her this week. She's shown her humour, but also her compassion, and that she's very well-rounded, so she is definitely up there for me. Also going up is Eureka, because she helped out the queens a lot. A lot of the episode didn't really show it, but some of the highlights did, that she basically helped every queen with their outfits and their sewing and stuff, and we're just starting to see another little side to her. I know she's just sort of known for her quips and her jibes and stuff, but she's kind of like mellowing a little bit, and so she's gone up there for me. And also Valentina, she's just like always up there. I mean, the problem is she's setting herself up for a fall now, because she's just been consistently very, very good, but she is still very hot up there. So yes. Who is not? Well, going down at the moment, obviously Aja. I think the way that she handled being critiqued badly was very poor. She didn't really turn it out for me in the challenge, and yeah, I'm just like, yeah, she kind of just went down a little bit for me. Also, Pheromone is a little bit not for me. She's very sweet, and I like, you know, the way that she can dress herself, but in this challenge where she had to come up with something from scratch, she didn't really turn it out, and she's been moaning a lot, like this week and last week, you know, when they're having to like really get to work, we find that she's moaning, and you know, the irony, far up moan. But it's starting to get a little bit annoying, and I'm like, you know, just get on with it and turn it out, because you have it in you. So just do it, because you fierce. And as well, going down a little bit for me this week is Cynthia. Although I was very touched by her story about Pulse, I wasn't really feeling her princess look. There is something very charming about the cuckoo, you know, constantly talking about cuckoo, but it's also starting to get a little bit like, you know, too much of a good thing. You know, even her princess was talking about cuckoo, and I'm like, you know, Cynthia, you are more than just your butt. So like, show off the rest of you, because you are fierce. Like, bitch, beat cancer. You know what I mean? So yeah, she was kind of like going down a little bit for me this week, but I have no doubt that she'll be going right back up sooner or later. It's just like, you know, one of those blips when you're just like kind of getting a bit tired of hearing the same thing. But then I know I'm going to start loving cuckoo again. Like, not cuckoo as in Cynthia, although yes, Cynthia, but like cuckoo as in like the word cuckoo, because like, there's a good reason I don't do cuckoo count anymore. I broke the counter. So yes, that is everything. So it's now over to you. What did you think of this episode? Who is hot? Who is not for you? Who was your favourite princess look? All that kind of stuff. Any comments and everything, do leave them in the comments below. Let's get to chatting. Let's find out. Let's spill the tea, darling. And don't forget to drop this video a thumbs up. Please hit the subscribe button as well. And make sure you follow me on social media as well. I have Twitter, Facebook and Instagram. Just search for Chris Says It. You should find me. But until next time, guys, be good, be safe, keep out of trouble, be fierce, stay fabulous and all that wonderful jazz. And I will see you guys next week. Take care. Love you. Bye! So today, as you can probably tell from the title, we are going to be talking about the fact that Russia have been banned from the Eurovision Song Contest. Now, I am the biggest Eurovision fan going, and I have been to the